Hello everybody, welcome to the show today. President Trump has just targeted the top Democrat officials, guys, in a huge post where he is literally telling the DOJ he wants these people behind bars. In his post, he has Powers, Rice, Jarrett, Clapper, Comey, Brennan, Obama, and Rhodes all behind bars, guys. He's calling them the shady bunch. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because Trump is being more explicit than ever on the collusion, the corruption, who he wants to see behind bars. Who do you want to see behind bars? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because, guys, it gets even crazier. Moments ago, this is insane. It's just been revealed that there are text messages and emails showing Hillary Clinton campaign officials directly worked with the Obama deep state community to foment the Trump-Russia hoax in July of 2016. A newly declassified document reveals that James Comey cleared Hillary Clinton of email server crimes without ever investigating key thumb drives containing classified emails, including messages from President Obama. Guys, the plot thickens. This crap is getting more serious. We're bringing the receipts, guys. All this is coming out this morning. People are going to be sent to jail. I know this. There's no way that we can. With all the evidence that we have, let me know your thoughts in the comments because Trump is draining the swamp. Finally, we're seeing the swamp being drained. This is huge breaking bombshell news, guys, because everybody was saying, what about Hillary? What about Hillary? Well, guess what? They just dropped it this morning from the Department of National Intelligence, guys. This is massive. And not only that, our boy Tom Fitton with Judicial Watch has officially filed a lawsuit for collusion documents of the Arizona Democratic Attorney General and Jack Smith. This is insane, guys. Across the board, Trump's people, his pit bulls are going after everybody. And where there's smoke, there's fire. We've been seeing this for a while, and it's only getting better for people that truly want justice for Trump. And also, guys, I'm telling you, it's a 1-2 punch, guys, of just smacking, hitting these people, hitting this corruption, knocking it out of the park, because guess what? Trump is now going after probably the biggest slush money fund. We thought it was USAID. Well, guess what? There's more evidence that it's something even worse, where it's been the Democrat slush fund. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Senator Rand Paul are teaming up to do a full investigation into the Federal Reserve. They said, no institution has more power over your money than the Federal Reserve, yet it operates in the shadows. The Federal Reserve Transparency Act will finally audit the Fed's books, expose wasteful spending, and hold them accountable to the American people. Guys, this is one of Trump's right-hand man teaming up with Rand Paul to do this Federal Reserve Transparency Act because they want a full investigation because they have found money trails where, again, it's been more of the slush fund money, guys. I'm telling you, the more they dig in, dang it, our freaking government has been so corrupt and it's just wasteful spending. It makes sense why we're $37 trillion in debt, but Trump is taking care of, guess what? The Americans, those on Social Security, those on Medicare, Medicaid, guess what? Illegals are being removed from the United States, and it's making such a massive impact to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. The amount of payments going out has dropped over 20% in the past 3 months. So all the payments that have been going out, it just went like this, guys. Boom. Huge drop over, and they're all attributing it to the over 1 million self-deportations and the deportations that Trump has carried out through Tom Homan, the border czar, with ICE. Guys, it's not a coincidence. It's happening immediately as we start deporting people, as people are self-deporting. They were getting Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and guess what? This is where the increase is coming, baby. This is what we voted for. Putting America first, promises made, promises kept. Guys, we're seeing history in the making. That finally, not just exposing the deep state, but exposing their use of all your taxpayer dollars for their nefarious reasons. If you appreciate this, guys, show some love in the chat. Hit that thumbs up like button. We got a ton of breaking news for you today. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. We couldn't do it without you. And if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We got the receipts, the evidence for you guys. We are on this stuff. We are bringing the breaking news as it's happening, guys. We are so ahead of the mainstream media because we are watching everything. Want to say thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Want to give some love to Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel. Show Elaine some love, and everybody that is a member. Remember, your memberships, your super chats go to, we donate that to a local charity on the 22nd of every single month, guys. On the 22nd, that's tomorrow, we're donating live on stream thousands of dollars with your support to a local children's home. I want to say thank you so much for your support. We couldn't do it without you guys. We are living in history right now. Trump is winning. He has just called out all the top Obama officials, as well now as Hillary Clinton. Scott Bessent and Rand Paul are teaming up to do this massive transparency act, guys, to know where your money is going. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
Folks reporting this, Trump is at his apex. Trump is winning left and right, from the border to the economy. You know, I bet if the election was held again today, Trump would win by an even larger landslide. Trump's winning streak is enraging the left-wing loons so much so that this is all they can do, that they're weaponizing this Epstein saga against him because they've got nothing else. If Epstein was so...
Guys, if you believe Trump is truly winning, put winning in the chat. Put it in the comments, guys. MAGA winning. I want to see it, guys, because I'm telling you, this stuff is going out. People are seeing the truth, and we're exposing all the corruption.
Oh, important to the Democrats. Why didn't they ask for full transparency when they had the House, the Senate, and even the White House?
State congressman could have gotten that from 21 to 25 when Democrats controlled the DOJ. Why? It was a crisis then. It's a crisis now. Why didn't Democrats call for it from 21 to 25?
So, I mean, you have to go back and look specifically at particular prosecutorial decisions. And what was taking place in terms of the other cases. So I don't know. We could try to reconstruct that record.
If you see such a need to investigate this, why didn't you raise it during the Biden administration? I mean, we couldn't find that you made any public comments about Epstein in previous administrations.
Well, I would have been happy to raise it then as well. Frankly, we were focused on so many different pieces, but I have been one of the Democrats that has been consistent on what I call out Republican presidents for and Democratic presidents for.
Blah.
Liar, 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 guys, because guess what? It's all coming out. New York Post this morning, guys, I told you we bring the receipts. This morning, just posted moments ago, guys, just minutes ago, I bring you the breaking news. FBI failed to probe key thumb drives in Clinton email probe. They were protecting Hillary Clinton. The DOJ watchdog files show this. Right here, a newly declassified document reveals James Comey cleared Hillary Clinton of email server crimes without ever investigating key thumb drives containing classified emails, including messages from President Obama. Guys, I'm telling you, we are bringing everything, and all this just came out moments ago. Breaking news. It's all for you, guys. We don't hold back for nothing, and this is what I love, is that as we're revealing all this, more is coming, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, MAGA is winning, baby.
Lies. They're full of it, and they know it. We all know it was President Trump who pushed for a full investigation of the Epstein files, along with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, well, before they got into the White House.
Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list?
So you're not only doubting Trump when you say that there's some kind of massive cover-up, you're doubting his now current head of the FBI, Patel, and deputy director of the FBI, Bongino. You really think that all three of these men would jeopardize their reputation, their integrity, everything they've stood for to protect low-life sex abusers? Come on, absolutely not. I'm not buying that narrative the left has been spinning. So anytime you sound remotely like a Democrat, like a Hakeem Jeffries, like an AOC, like Jamie Raskin, think long and hard about what's happening to you. As we New Yorkers like to say, you're being played. And as I've been saying all along about this Epstein thing, let the process play out. A favorite quote of mine comes to mind. The truth is like a seed. It may lay dormant for a while, but with time and patience, it will always break through the surface. Not going away just yet in an effort to put this to rest, this political crisis of its own making. President Trump directed the Justice Department to release all grand jury testimony regarding Epstein, subject, of course, to court approval. He also added, quote, nothing will be good enough for the troublemakers and radical left lunatics making the request. It will always be more, MAGA. Trump's directive coming on the heels of this pathetic Wall Street Journal exclusive.
And guys, Trump is not holding back. If you haven't seen this already, it hasn't made it to mainstream media yet, guys, but this is what Trump posted. I'm telling you, the guy's not holding back one bit. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Said your positive energy is infectious. America first. I love it. Y'all show Tijuana Border Jumper some love in the chat, as well as Meg. I love the GIF. Show Meg some love in the chat as well. Guys, this is powerful right here. You've got Donald Trump, the sitting president, calling out the shady bunch. You've got, look at the bottom, Barack Hussein Obama, John Brennan, James Clapper, Samantha Power, Susan Rice, Valerie Jarrett, James Comey, and Ben Hamas Rhodes. Wow, guys, if this is not fully calling everybody out, I don't know what it is. We've already showed you Hillary Clinton. They literally were covering up for her. Now Trump's saying, I need you to get these people. I need you to hold them accountable. We cannot continue to do this, guys. We are living in a different time, and we need justice more than ever. B1 Sly One, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go. He said, for tomorrow's charity donation from our great friends and family in the chat, America first. Guys, y'all show B1 Sly One some love in the chat, because Trump is not playing around.
They have yet to provide or show this letter. And Trump not only denied writing the letter or the little doodle that came along with it, he called it false, malicious, and defamatory. He hit those responsible for the report where it really, really hurts them. The president filed a $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the owner of the Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch, as well as his company, News Corp, its CEO, Robert Thompson, the Dow Jones, and the two reporters who wrote the article. And the next day, after this report came out, because I was filling in for Greg Kelly, I awoke to a flurry of texts from friends alerting me that this left-wing media critic was slamming me for not talking about the letter when I was guest hosting on Thursday. So the reason I didn't cover the letter was because it wasn't verified. You know, the Wall Street Journal report, it's not been corroborated. And as a journalist, call me crazy, you need verification before you slam anyone, never mind the president of the United States, with some ridiculous, heinous accusation. This whole Epstein scandal, it largely lives online on social media, by the way. I mean, among the conspiracy theorists and internet sleuths, because here's how everyday Republican voters actually feel about Trump since the controversy broke.
I mean, look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all of these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down with Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% were Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex or close there too in terms of his pop or not.
Guys, is this not
and
winning?
CNN
Is this not winning, guys? It's like I keep showing the receipts, baby. If you appreciate this, show some love in the chat. Thank you so much. The Texas Lazy Gardener said, love this channel. Y'all show them some love in the chat to the Texas Lazy Gardener. And what's new for gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships? Growing the family. I love it. Show what's new some love in the chat, guys, because this is winning. Right here on screen, guys, I'm showing you the Republican Party. Oh, snap. The Republican Party outraises the Democratic Party by double. 16.2 million compared to 8.6 million in June alone. People are fed up. Everybody across the world. Guys, look, this just popped up too as well. I'm going to show you this. Everybody is revolting across the entire world. Why? Because they're tired of all the left-wing progressive propaganda crap. They want common sense policies. They want safety. They want to have and know that the people that they voted into Congress are actually serving us, we the people. Because right now, guys, it's getting, the deep state is being exposed. Right here, I got to show you this again. So powerful. A newly declassified document reveals James Comey cleared Hillary Clinton of email server crimes without ever investigating the key thumb drives containing classified emails, including messages from President Obama. This is the smoking gun, guys. We are finding everything. Who needs to be sent to jail? Who needs to be arrested, guys? I love it. This is beautiful. Look at this too, guys, because our boys, you got Tom Fitton who's suing. You've got Mike Davis, and everybody is on it big time. Sweet Kitten, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Sweet Kitten some love in the chat. And don't forget to show What's New some love if you got a free membership. Check this out.
The one thing that's worked for the Democrats is the ability, although they're losing at the highest court, they're slowing things down to delay is to deny. And this is another example of even President Trump getting who he wants in to actually work for him. So this is a dual-pronged approach from the deep state and also this radical judiciary, which I guess is the legal and judicial arm of the deep state. I want to start here by going back. What is blue slip? I thought President Trump said, hey, look, I'm not crazy about this blue slip. I understand it's custom and tradition. In the old days, we had compromise. It wasn't bad. But this stops President Trump from actually getting U.S. attorneys in blue. And we know that the neo-Confederates run California. They run Los Angeles. They control Illinois and Chicago. They control New York and New York City. And you're not going to deport 10 to 20 million illegal alien invaders. Hell, you just had a guy get shot in the face. Right? You're not going to do that unless you have hammers as U.S. attorneys going against these corrupt Marxist, neo-Marxist Democratic politicians, sir. So I thought the blue slip thing was something we kind of waved off a couple of years ago.
So when I was the chief counsel for nominations on the Senate Judiciary Committee, I was able to push very hard for then chairman and now chairman Chuck Grassley to not give blue slip vetoes for federal circuit judge nominees because they touch more than one state. But for U.S. attorney, U.S. marshal, district court judges, like I say, there would be 100 senator revolts if these home state senators lost the ability to hand select the prosecutor who would prosecute their corruption trial, the judge who would oversee the corruption trial, and the U.S. marshal who would escort them to prison. So blue slips for district court, U.S. attorney, and U.S. marshal are not going away probably ever. But for circuit court judges, they lost the veto power. You still have to do consultation with the home state senators before you nominate a federal appellate judge nominee. But that's the reason we confirmed a near record number of judges, including federal appellate judges, in President Trump's first term, is because we got rid of the blue slip veto for federal circuit judges.
You have to bounce, understand that. What's the action? Article 3 is on top of this with the president. He's outraged. Alina's done a great job. What is the call to action this morning? Is there anything the posse should do to assist this? Is this is occurring right now with these 15 of these 17 judges making a decision on whether they want to get rid of her or not? Is there anything for the War and Posse to do in coordination with Article 3?
Well, unfortunately, you can't call these judges because, and that makes this is even more weird. You have 17 judges deciding whether the president gets to keep his U.S. attorney in New Jersey, Alina Habba, and there's nothing we can do about it. It shows you how unconstitutional this is. Usually, when the president picks someone, you can call the White House switchboard, or the Senate confirms someone. You can call your home state senators. But you can't really call these judges. So, again, a total head scratcher.
Alina Habba, one of President Trump's closest lawyers and confidants, has been doing a great job as the acting, or I guess the interim U.S. attorney in New Jersey. I think is starting to be removed today at 10 a.m. by Hakeem Jeffries and a bunch of judges in New Jersey. Mike Davis joins us. Mike, explain to the audience what's going on, because this is quite confusing situation. She's there on an interim basis, I guess, an acting basis, been doing a great job. How is she being removed by these kind of radical neo-Marxist judges, federal judges?
Guys, y'all see that? That they're trying to take out who? They're trying to take out Alina Habba, one of Trump's closest people, a lawyer that's been with him fighting through everything. These leftist judges, like, we're truly seeing the deep state attack Trump, and for a person who literally has been doing a phenomenal job. Guys, if you appreciate all this truth, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is massive right here, because again too, as they are continuing to try to attack Trump, now they're attacking people closest to him to try to remove them from their positions. But I want to show you this again, guys, because this is just real. It has been revealed that there are text messages and emails showing that the Hillary Clinton campaign officials directly worked with the Obama deep state community to foment the Trump-Russia hoax in July of 2016. So all this stuff, all the conspiracies, all the hoaxes that the left-wing media said, oh, it wasn't fake news. Well, guess what? It was. And guess what? Trump was right. And it just blows my mind now, because this is going to be a fight. Trump is looking to step in with Alina Habba, because remember, they're close, guys. She's been with him every single day. Whenever it came to the campaign, whenever it came to his lawsuits, she was sitting at the same table with him the night that he got elected. I mean, this is massive, but there's other people that are fighting this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Jersey, working with Hakeem Jeffries, sir.
Yes, U.S. attorneys are generally nominated by the president in consultation with the home state senators through the blue slips, where the home state senators have a veto over the U.S. attorney nomination because they want to be able to hand select the prosecutor who would prosecute their corruption case, the district court judge who would oversee their corruption case, and the U.S. Marshal that would escort them to prison. But that's not going away. That's been around for over 100 years. That's nonsense called the blue slip. But regardless, the president, through his attorney general, can appoint a U.S. attorney for 120 days. We saw this with Judge Jeanine Pirro in D.C. We saw this with Alina Habba in New Jersey. We saw this with other U.S. attorneys around the country. And then after that 120-day appointment, if the U.S. attorney is not nominated and confirmed by the Senate, there's a statute, I think it's unconstitutional, but there's a statute that lets the district court judges in the district where the U.S. attorney rules, they get a pick. They get a vote to pick whether the U.S. attorney stays or goes. In the past, this is generally that these judges have generally been very deferential to the attorney general and the president, because this is a U.S. attorney. It's the chief law enforcement officer of that district. Well, we're seeing a precedent set in this Trump 47 administration where these Democrat activist judges, whether they're in New York or now New Jersey, are trying to fire these U.S. attorneys. They're voting to fire. In New Jersey, there are 17 district court judges. 15 of them are appointed by Barack Obama and Joe Biden. So at 10 o'clock this morning, right now, they're meeting to decide to vote whether to get rid of Alina Habba. And this is after House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries posted a post on X a couple days ago calling for these 17 New Jersey district court judges to get rid of Alina Habba. And
so you see that, guys? Oh my goodness. They're attacking. They can't do nothing about Trump. They've officially lost it. Now they're trying to go after the people that are closest to him. And again, too, it sucks because, again, Alina Habba's done a phenomenal job. D. Batruth, welcome to the family. Let's go. And thank you so much, Fred Samuel, for the super chat. He said the left is going to do anything possible to stop Alina Habba because she's doing a great job. They want incompetent people. They want people they can control is what they want. Y'all show Fred some love in the chat. I want to show you this, guys. Judicial Watch is suing for collusion documents of the Arizona Democratic Attorney General and the Jack Smith operation. Guys, again, every single thing that we're showing you, we're bringing the receipts. Lawsuits are happening. Things are happening behind the scenes, but we're showing you everything because, again, this is stuff you don't see on mainstream media that is making a difference to make sure that Trump is taken care of. Listen to this.
The Attorney General of Arizona is giving us the runaround about the collusion with the Justice Department. Judicial Watch sues for collusion documents of Arizona Democratic Attorney General and Jack Smith operation. We're suing in state courts to expose the corruption targeting Trump. On January 13th, 2025, several media outlets reported that Attorney General Mays had formally requested case documents from the U.S. Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith's criminal investigation into President Donald Trump regarding the 2020 presidential election. And like Fani Willis, we asked for records of Chris Mays of her communications with the Biden gang, and we've been getting the hand to the face again, and that's why we just sued in court.
Ooh, baby. They don't want to cooperate. They don't want to work with us. Well, guess what? We're going to sue your butt. And guess what I love, guys? I'm telling you, this is the most massive changes coming to America that we've ever seen. Kathy Brewer, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Guys, show Kathy some love in the chat. OG of the channel. Guys, I love it. Such good giving. It's such a blessing. Y'all show Kathy some love in the chat. Federal Chair Jerome Powell officially referred to the DOJ on criminal charges of lying under oath twice. Powell's legal troubles are now worsening. People are calling for him to resign. This is now coming from a Representative Anna Paulina Luna. Democrats reviewed by congressional investigators and indicate that the scope and cost overruns of this project were neither minor in nature nor in substance. Homeboy spent $2.5 billion building a luxury palace where they work at. Wow, that must be nice. So guess what else is happening? Scott Bessent and Rand Paul are teaming up together to create and push forward the Federal Reserve Transparency Act for what you're about to hear here, guys. Because again, it's Trump is getting to the money. Trump is not only getting to the money, he's getting to the past corruption with all of the Russia collusion and dealing with the Hillary Clinton campaigns, the emails, all of it. Listen to this.
Look, Joe, I think that what we need to do is examine the entire Federal Reserve institution and whether they have been successful. I'm speaking, actually, I'm going to be in the building this evening. There is a regulatory conference that begins tomorrow. I'm the keynote speaker tonight talking about regulation. The Fed as well deals with monetary policy, regulations, financial stability. And again, I think that we should think, has the organization succeeded in its mission? You know, if this were the FAA and we were having this many mistakes, we would go back and look at why has this happened? I mean, look at as you said at the top of this broadcast, there was fear mongering over tariffs, and thus far we have seen very little, if any, inflation. We've had great inflation numbers. So, you know, I think this idea of them not being able to break out of a certain mindset, you know, all these PhDs over there, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do. This is like universal basic income for, you know, academic economists.
Guys, you hear this? Calling on everybody to investigate all these systems, calling on we need to look at the entire Federal Reserve institution. This is massive, guys, because again, too, where you can find the money, this is where it all boils down to. FBI failed to probe key thumb drives in Clinton email probe, the DOJ watchdog files. When we see that every single dang system is corrupt, this is where you know everything's got to be investigated. Fred Samuel, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Say replace Haba with Matt Gaetz, then bring Haba back. I want to see Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. I think he would kick butt. I think he'd be a lot more harder than Pam Bondi. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the chat. Denise Clark, custom art. Let's go. say keep fighting and we keep winning, they should just throw in the towel 100%. Denise Clark, show her some love in the chat, OG of the channel. Because again, too, it's not just the people, guys, that are in Trump's cabinet team. It's also the people that are getting it in Congress. There are certain pit bulls in Congress that are fighting and looking and saying the NGOs were used as an inside job to facilitate bringing in the millions of people through Biden's border. Listen to this.
I think it's crucial that we know the role that the NGOs played in the invasion of our country. While the Biden administration opened the doors, the NGOs fueled the invasion. They provided or coordinated transportation to the interior of the country, along with food, shelter, legal fees, and more, all with your tax dollars. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit for the record this piece of the Free Press titled "Nonprofits Are Making Billions Off the Border Crisis."
Without objection, it shall be entered into the record.
So Global Refuge, one of these Trojan horses, listed $202 million in revenue in 2022, up from $50 million in 2018, which is 86% of that money came directly from the taxpayers. Another organization which...
Hold up. $226 million that the Biden administration paid an NGO to go down to the border and facilitate people coming in. Guys, look at the bottom. House Homeland Security Committee, an inside job. How NGOs facilitated the Biden border crisis. Guys, the corruption is everywhere. We're exposing this. Guys, you will not see this on mainstream media, but we're showing you everything. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, and if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family so we can serve you with all this truth, baby.
We've already talked about today. Endeavor received 99.6% of its revenue from taxpayers. And these groups made profits by forcing us to pay for the invasion of our own country. So my first question, and I would really like to leave it open for any of you to please feel free to comment, but it's kind of simple. How many illegals did these bad actors bring in? And how much of our hard-earned tax dollars did they spend? And did they even attempt to determine if any of the illegals that flooded our homeland were violent criminals?
Congresswoman, what I'll say is that it's also not just the unaccompanied minors that were processed through. There wasn't DNA testing being done with family units who were being presented and turning themselves over to Border Patrol. So there were quote-unquote family units that these NGOs also helped and processed, but you ask any border official, any border enforcement, that they'll tell you that they rent kids out to act as family units, or they're trafficking these kids as family units. So I know, understandably, we're talking a lot about the unaccompanied minors, and that should definitely have a big focus. But we also can't forget the fake family units that took advantage of the Biden administration not doing DNA testing to ensure that those were actual families.
Between the ports of entry, it's really hard to determine how many bad actors and criminal networks came into the interior of the country during the Biden-Harris administration. I know it's frustrating to hear that we keep mentioning the Biden-Harris administration, but when you have over 300,000 children that went missing under that administration, it is worth asking because they are still missing. With these criminal networks, we worked with other nonprofit in California. Again, we're not against nonprofits. We are against the ones that take taxpayer dollars and mismanage the funds and abuse the funds, to reiterate for the record. But they found numerous cell phones of smugglers. The GOAT initiative works with local law enforcement and turns over cell phones that include data as far as how to obtain a child once you're in the United States, what pathways to take, and even include the nuclear posture of the United States. These are not, your average construction worker. And when you say they have no criminal background, please understand that might be in the United States. You don't know where they came from, their country of origin, what their criminal background was in their country of origin.
Guys, it's so heartbreaking. I got to show you this because I love to bring in like layers and layers of context and the truth together to show a basis for what we're showing you. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem calls out Democratic mayors for sanctuary city policies, accusing them of protecting murderers. How many more lives will it take? So this person shot an ICE officer in the face. Guys, this is the crap that like you hear about. Nobody thinks twice about it till it's someone you know, or it's a family member, or it's someone close. But it's happening because these illegals that have not been vetted are in the country, and there's some that are criminals. But you can't know who's what. You have to know everybody who's in there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. B1 Sly One, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go, brother. Alice Lewis, thank you so much for all that you do. Monica Lipscomb, thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all show Monica, Alice, and B1 Sly One some love in the chat. This is sickening, guys. Imagine you're doing your job, and this guy was shot multiple times in the face, and I'm pretty sure that I think he's going to survive. God knows how. But this is happening to real Americans.
On top of the fact that when they had their false documents, if their documents said Mickey Mouse, that is what Border Patrol wrote down. So how do we know what their backgrounds truly are from their home countries when we did no meaningful checking of the false documents that they provided to our agencies?
To answer the heart of your question, I think it's virtually all of the illegals that were released into the interior. Just like it's virtually impossible for an illegal to get to the southern border without going through cartel custody, it is virtually impossible for the illegals, once they are released, to not reap a direct or indirect benefit from the nonprofit system. That's why this is so detestable. They had built a system on parallel with the cartels. The NGOs and the Biden administration operated as the final chain in the link of this human smuggling, not only of children, but of everyone who came illegally.
Wow, guys. Do you hear that? NGOs? That's why, you know, when Trump posted this, guys, the shady bunch and everybody that's in here, from Obama to Comey to Clapper, Susan Rice, this is like, people are fed up. People are fed up with seeing so much corruption. We're waiting now on the Department of Justice to get arrested. Because if this doesn't happen, I promise you, there will be a revolt like no other. People are fed up that so much has been caught. Nobody's been arrested, but that's why we're showing you everything, guys, so that you can see what's actually going on. Check this out.
The Oversight Committee has scheduled 4 additional transcribed interviews with former Biden aides Ian Sams, Andrew Bates, Karine Jean-Pierre, and Jeff Zients over the coming months. Joining me now with more on these two in an effort to stop Trump are House Oversight Committee members Florida Congressman Byron Donalds and Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Great to have you both with us. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to get your take on what happens now. Congressman Byron Donalds, you just heard and saw you're not getting any answers from the auto pen. So who is running the country? And all of those pardons that were written by the auto pen and approved by Jeff Zients, are they legitimate?
First of all, Maria, good to be with you. Look, I think that those pardons are illegitimate. I believe the person that was actually in charge of it actually was probably Mr. Bernal, because he was Joe Biden's right-hand man. And according to many accounts, Mr. Bernal was the one who was making sure stuff got done in that White House with several others. I think you have to subpoena every official of the Biden White House, including the First Lady and including the Vice President, Kamala Harris. They all need to come in. They all need to answer questions.
Well, Anna Paulina Luna, Congresswoman, you know our audience is frustrated at this point. We've had 10 years of scandal against President Trump. Half the country still thinks he colluded with Russia because of that crazy lie and fantasy that Barack Obama and the rest of the cabal came up with. Are we ever going to see any accountability here?
Most certainly, Maria. You saw with the report that Tulsi put out, I mean, we're talking about there needs to be criminal prosecution and arrest. You know, lying under oath, putting out a false intelligence report, that's a violation of 18 U.S. Code 1001 that comes with a 7-year prison sentence and up to $250,000 fine. But we're talking about something more nefarious than this. I think that this is a perfect example and reason why there needs to be FISA reform as well. As you know, Maria, that false intelligence report resulted in FISA courts issuing a warrant to illegally surveillance the president of the United States now. And what I can tell you is if we don't stop this, if we don't actually say this will not be tolerated, this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is about the health and the sanctity of a constitutional republic. And so there needs to be arrests. This is not partisan. This is simply illegal what they did, and we're simply upholding the law.
I mean, it's just extraordinary. How do you believe they got away with that? Byron, what about that? How was it that this cabal of senior people in the Obama White House was able to convince so many people of this lie when they had no evidence whatsoever of it?
Well, they got away with it because once they leaked these false narratives and false reports, you had big media organizations who just went lock, stock, and barrel, did not fact check, did not go and do the extra work, did not do any due diligence whatsoever. They just followed and towed the company line. And then you have the deep careers in the intelligence community who either they were afraid of being fired or having their clearances revoked, or B, were so concerned about a Donald Trump presidency that they felt it was okay to concoct false information into the American people, into the body politic. So Anna is completely correct. There need to be arrests on this matter. People need to go to jail on this.
Guys, arrest, guys. Because this right here I mean, it's no more apparent that when you see this article coming out that the FBI failed to probe. Oh my goodness. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. No. All right. Sorry, guys. FBI failed to probe key thumb drives in Clinton email probe. DOJ watchdog files. When you see that a newly declassified document, declassified, guys, reveals James Comey cleared Hillary Clinton of email server crimes without ever investigating key thumb drives containing classified emails, including messages from President Obama. They were all working together. That's why Trump put this out. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support in our channel. But this is what Trump wants to see. He wants to see these people in jail. It's just a matter of, is his Attorney General Pam Bondi going to be able to have the wherewithal to charge them? Because this is a big deal, guys. When you charge a former president, which they did to Trump, though, this is more concrete. They charged Trump with what? They charged him with the election integrity of 2020. They charged him with the filing for what was it called? The prostitute or whatever. This right here is a whole nother level. When you conspired with all your top officials to basically coup the sitting president, create a fake Steele dossier, create all this fake stuff, you take it from here to here. And that is 100% prison time. Surgical Wizard, thank you so much for the super chat. Said God is going to raise up and to be anointed Pam Bondi to have authority and Trump to do whatever they want to clean up this country, and big is coming. Y'all show Surgical Wizard some love in the chat. Guys, thank y'all so much for your support. But again, too, it keeps getting digger because the more people that call for arrest, the more it's going to happen, guys. Listen to this.
This is about the republic. This is not about one president. It is about the presidency and the continuation of our country.
And we know that you all can't make arrests in Congress. You can, make referrals, as you have, and you can have hearings, a lot of hearings, as you have. But this is, at the end of the day, falling to Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. And those are the two people who can right these wrongs. Will they do it, Anna Paulina Luna?
I feel like this is an easy layup and an easy win because there's a lot of evidence and a lot of public outcry to do the right thing. Even if there wasn't, they should do this, right? But I do feel like that they'll be making this right. And I will say, Maria, Congress can, under inherent contempt, make arrests, but the votes have to be there. And as you saw last time with Merrick Garland, 4 Republicans protected Merrick Garland from releasing those her tapes.
So we've been talking about this 10-year period of scandals. So it starts with Russia collusion. It goes into impeachment of President Trump over nothing, a phone call. And then it goes into more lies and attacks on him. And then it goes into Joe Biden's presidency and the use of the auto pen. So I want to get your take on that. Why all of this effort to stop Donald Trump, in your view?
Right there, guys.
Let's not forget he was indicted 90+ times.
Cool.
I think President Trump represents something.
I'm sorry, my apologies. I should have said, no, we don't want to talk on top of each other. But go ahead, Anna.
I was just going to say, I think that President Trump represents everything that the unit party and the establishment is against. As you're seeing, Maria, this is not something that's just a political talking point. We have evidence that they did try to stop him in every way possible, not to mention there were not one but two assassination attempts on the president. So I think when you're looking at what the power structure is in this country, it's typically been, corporate interests controlling politicians, people that have never been business owners, business leaders in this country, and they've done politics for their entire professional career, which is everything that our founding fathers stood against. And so both Byron and myself, through all of this, have been very happy to bat for the president and to defend him, because as you're seeing right now, this is the core definition of corruption. And I know the American people are frustrated. And what I will say is that the American people want arrests. There's the evidence out there. This is not partisan, and there needs to be a correcting of this wrongdoing, because what happened was absolutely wrong.
Congressman, final word. Byron.
Only thing I would add, Maria, and Anna's absolutely correct. The only thing I would add is this is about the Democrats as well. They want continuous power for their radical agenda. What they wanted all this entire time was a continuation of the groundwork they were trying to lay from Barack Obama. Donald Trump was the stopgap to that, and they were furious, and they did not respect the will of the voters. And all they want to do is bring the radical ideology, whether it's gender right ideology in schools, the crazy energy policies they've brought to the United States, the crazy environmental policies, which are slowing our country down, and terrible economic policies, which will empower Washington and not the American people. And Donald Trump's movement has always been about putting the American peoples first, putting Washington last. That is something that the Democrats abhor. And so they went to any means necessary to try to stop his momentum and stop his movement. But we found out once again that they've lied to the American people. They have betrayed the trust of the American people, and they should never be allowed to have power again in the United States.
It's just incredible.
Calling them out, guys, because I'm telling you, the bombshell news today, it's just been revealed that there are text messages and emails showing that the Clinton campaign officials directly worked with the Obama deep state community to foment the Trump-Russia hoax in July 2016. All planned out, guys. All planned out. They hated him. They couldn't stand him because he was a guy that couldn't be bought. And if you can't be bought, then what do? You have to try to take him out. And that's what they tried to do with President Trump. Jim Arnold, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Jim some love in the chat, member of the channel. And right now, guys, I got to show you this because this doesn't make any sense. There are some people now that are trying to threaten the Republicans with shutting down the government over everything that's happening, guys, and all this just insane what you're about to see because, again, the Democrats have no leg to stand on. They are literally trying anything and everything that they can to try to make sure that they try to keep Trump's agenda from taking shape. Listen to this.
We are going to need to get appropriations done. That will require some cooperation from the Democrats, and hopefully they will be willing to make sure that the government is funded. Now, we got to do the defense authorization bill. Russia sanctions is something that is on our agenda, and we're kind of working with the White House and coordinating schedules to make sure that we do that at the right time in terms of their negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. But funding the government has to be done before the end of the fiscal year, which is October the 1st.
Do you think Chuck Schumer would like to see a government shutdown come September?
I think he probably thinks that it's beneficial to their political base, the far left of the Democrat Party, and you can kind of see what's happening up there in New York politics. This is a party struggling for an identity. We're going to be waiting to see anxiously what Chuck Schumer and other leaders on the Democrat side decide to do.
Guys,
so, Congressman,
this is massive.
There's 12 appropriations bills or CRs that have to be passed by October 1st, or there has to be a CR by October 1st to avoid a shutdown, but this needs 60 votes. And I'm looking at the breakdown. 53 Senate seats are Republican.
they've got to have the Democrats on board for this.
Yeah, we can't do the appropriation bills through reconciliation. Reconciliation only requires 51 votes in the Senate. It's got to be done through the regular process, which requires 60 votes, 60% of the senators to pass. So yes, he's absolutely right. It's going to require ultimately negotiations between the House and the Senate and the White House. And I will tell you, the Democrats are not only in disarray, President Trump is basically living rent-free in their heads. He's so much in their heads, they have a hard time dealing with reality. And they're going to have to realize that unless we're going to have a government shutdown, which would be catastrophic, by the way, they're going to have to negotiate, and they're going to have to start negotiating pretty soon.
Lou Speak, jump in here. Congressman, is this a template, what your committee has done for other parts of the government? In other words, are we going to see a whole raft of appropriations bills coming out trying to spend less and do more? Because that would really be good news for the American people.
It's actually, look, the leadership of the full committee chairman in the House, Tom Cole, has been amazing. So with the exception of the 3 bills that the president has asked additional funding for, and that's defense, homeland, and veterans. And so those are either flat or getting it.
Guys, did you hear that? It's so beautiful, guys. I want to play it again real quick. Listen to what the president has asked for extra funding on.
That the president has asked additional funding for, and that's defense, homeland, and veterans.
Defense, homeland, and veterans. Guys, I just want to take this moment to say thank you to everybody that is a veteran that watches. Thank you for your service to our country. We appreciate you so much. You deserve to be taken care of. But what I love is whenever you hear the 3 things that Trump has put a priority on it to make sure that people are taken care of, it's defense, it's homeland, and it's veterans, baby. You cannot tell me that Trump doesn't care about our veterans.
And so those are either flat or getting an increase. So the other bills, you're going to see dramatic spending decreases. We'll see what the Senate can come up with. But again, eventually, we're going to have to negotiate, and the Senate Democrats are going to have to decide whether they want to shut down the government with all of that entails. And by the way, at a moment when China is being so aggressive, this is not the time to, in essence, tie the hands of our military. But we'll see what the Democrats want to do. Yes, we are cutting money on things that are not necessary. We're spending less.
Right there, guys, cutting money. If you appreciate the cutting, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, it's all about this. Whenever we get to September, it's going to be so massive. Because remember, we do have to get 7 Democrats to vote with us. Whatever happens, you're going to see how good, how powerful the negotiation skills are of Thune, of President Trump, to try and keep the wasteful spending from happening. Because I'm telling you, Chuck Schumer and them would rather see our entire economy destroyed than actually see America First policies. Jeff Poffreyman, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Hey, I love your picture. You're showing your real American shirt. Said great to be back home and see all the winning. Hi, Joel. I love y'all. Show Jeff some love in the chat.
And here's the key, and doing more good things with a lot less taxpayer money.
Right, fiscal responsibility, which is what the voters asked for in November of 2024. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how Senator Schumer kind of handles this dance, considering that he's under a lot of pressure because of what's happening here in New York City with the mayor's race. And also there's this talk of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez primarying against him. So there's a lot happening with him. But let me move to this with you. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard revealing an explosive declassified document drop alleging that the Obama administration created and pushed the narrative that President Trump colluded with Russia to win the 2016 election. Congressman, I want to get your reaction to this document dump from Tulsi Gabbard on Friday and kind of what this means going forward. What do you think?
Well, we've known that there was a concerted effort coming from the administration to basically try to destroy President Trump in his first term. And so that just didn't happen by osmosis. Somebody had to give the order because it was coordinated. It looks like right now, which we all suspected, that this goes all the way to the top, potentially from President Obama himself. And so I'm grateful that this is finally coming out, because this was an actual coup attempt. You hear the Democrats talk about threat to democracy. There is a threat, and there was a threat to democracy, but it wasn't coming from the right or for conservatives. It was coming from the left. And it looks like it came all the way, whether it was President Obama or his closest associates, it looks like it went all the way to the White House. It is important that this is investigated. So something like this, an attempted coup in essence, never happens again in this, the United States of America, the greatest democracy in ever.
You know,
Guys,
my colleague
again,
Greg
this
Jarrett
is-
here at Fox wrote.
This is so massive, guys. Again, we're just showing you all the breaking news today. It has just been revealed that there are text messages and emails showing Hillary Clinton campaign officials directly worked with Obama deep state community to foment the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. In July of 2016, it was all by design. It was intentional. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Arrest need to happen. Pam Bondi, where the heck are you at? Objective Observer, member of the channel. Let's go. Y'all show Objective some love in the chat, guys. Y'all are so awesome. We got so much breaking news and stuff coming out today, guys. This is massive because, again, too, it's not just about exposing it all. The United States American people need to see it 100%. But if you don't hold them accountable and people don't see the inside of bars, it will always happen again, and it cannot happen again as we continue to move forward with an America First agenda, guys. I'm telling you, who do you think, put it in the chat, is gonna see, who could see jail first? Who do you think that Trump dislikes more? Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or Biden? Or Clapper, or Comey. Dang. I mean, there's a list of them, guys. I think that it'd be hard to go after the former president. You wouldn't want that. That's too muddy. But Hillary Clinton, I'm telling you guys, I could see it happening.
An op-ed at foxnews.com how Obama and his cronies created the Trump-Russia hoax. But he also poses the question, what happens next? And that is the question about what happens next. I mean, you could look at things like treason. You could look at things. I mean, this isn't about collusion anymore, depending on where the investigation goes. Do you think that that's the right path to take right now? Or is it more important to focus on the issues, at hand for the nation?
I mean, look, you can do two things at the same time. I think it's very important that we follow the facts and that we take and we follow that trail to wherever it leads. We should not be politicizing, and we have to be, I think, very thoughtful. But you cannot allow, if in fact that happened, which I suspect it did, you cannot allow, in essence, a coup, an organized, planned, aggressive coup to take place, almost take place, and no consequences for that action. But it has to be done seriously. So I tell people, let's see where the facts go. But right now, from what we are able to see just in those documents, it is really damning to the President Obama and his entire administration. And we can do that while at the same time do the other things. And yes, will the Democrats flip out if in fact the facts show that there was this conspiracy? With the Democrat leadership in the Senate in particular flip out and be unable or unwilling to negotiate to do other things for the country? That remains to be seen. But look, we have to get our job done, and part of that job is investigating if there was a potential coup attempt.
Congressman Mario.
Guys, so massive. Think about all the things that Trump has taken out. He's taken out so much wasteful spending with Doge. This is why this is so big, guys. Republican Party outraises the Democratic Party by double. 16.2 million compared to 8.6 million in June alone. People don't want to give their money to a dying campaign. Trump is, think about all this stuff. We would know nothing, guys. Oh my goodness. It is so like in my heart, I just can't even fathom it living in a reality where we didn't know everything that we know now. And the only reason that we know it now is because of our president. And Trump not only is abolishing just all this corruption, he's getting it out, he's exposing it all. He's raising more money for the midterms. They're going to redraw districts to get more House seats. But also, it's the wokeness, guys. It's getting rid of all the try of the grooming, get away from our kids. All this stuff you're about to see now because, again, too, Trump is just going after everything that is not American and not America first. Listen to this.
Remember Google Gemini's warped interpretation of historical figures? Well, President Trump sure does, because his next executive order is going to dismantle Silicon Valley's political bias, woke AI. That's the target of the White House. They say if you're going to be a leader in the next digital frontier and accept federal funds, well, you better be neutral. Mr. Bonson, I come to you, sir. You've been talking about how government shouldn't be involved in these things. Is Donald Trump wrong to put out this executive order?
Well, I don't know what the executive order ultimately does. I certainly agree with the sentiment behind it. I don't want this wokeness coming through in the code and in the way these things are programmed and written. And I think that the president has a lot of authority on getting rid of wokeness and certain elements of governmental policy and departments and whatnot. So the anti-woke, anti-DEI agenda of the president is something that I've been completely supportive of. And I basically think corporate America be clowned itself for a few years, but I never believed it was doing it ideologically. I always thought it was doing it because it thought that was the right commercial move, and they found out the hard way they were wrong.
The right commercial move, but the images that were shown were included a black George Washington, diverse Nazi imagery. I mean, you look at this, Gary, you know, we kind of lost focus on this problem, right? Other stuff came up. We stopped paying attention to it. Does this deserve to end now?
2 words, and I'll say it 3 times. Political neutrality, political neutrality, political neutrality. They went too far for too long, and they've finally been called on it. I remember just going on Google and searching, and the weirdest things would come up. And this goes for all, Facebook, just ridiculous stuff. I don't know about any executive order and what it does, but I think that because of the election, they went from over this way to towards the middle, and let's hope it stays that way because...
Guys, I'm telling you, if you appreciate all this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, it's so massive. A black George Washington. When they said, show me a picture of George Washington, it pulled up a black George Washington. Like, all this stuff... This is because, guys, remember, if you're a kid and you search this and you see this and you've never been taught anything else, that's what you'll think as the truth. And this is where these woke companies try to do what? They try to control the new truth from what we've always known. And this is where Trump says, you're not going to change history. We know what it was. And this is making sure that everything that we see online, guys, this is why we show you all this stuff and it's all the truth, because we don't want to try to change history to try to fit a narrative. We want to bring the truth as it is.
Enough's enough. They hurt themselves. They look stupid. And again, political neutrality, it shouldn't be too hard.
But Dagan, they look stupid in some people's eyes, but there may be other people who may be seeing these images and think they're real.
Right there, guys.
So when Google created this, the Gemini image generator, they did that on purpose. They wrote that into the code. To create, when you asked for anything, it was written in a very clunky way to show you diverse images. They created their own just laugh riot of an embarrassment, where it's like you get a George Washington who is Korean. I jest. But they did that on purpose because there's so much focus on diversity. This is an important part. And, you know, when we're talking about this executive order, this is only related to artificial intelligence companies getting federal money and federal contracts. So if you want to be crazy left-wing woke and just make up whatever you want to, you can do it without federal dollars. But I will give you an example of how biased, and these bots are as biased as the information that you're training them with, quite frankly. But here's an example from today. I was asking ChatGPT for inflation-adjusted
wages, how much they had gone up under, and I said, under President Trump's second term, exactly, because I was double checking my numbers. And the answer from ChatGPT was, there appears to be some confusion. President Trump did not serve a second term. He lost re-election in November of 2020, and he returned to office January 2025, which is the start of a new term, not a second one.
What?
And I replied to ChatGPT. I said, I told ChatGPT, your answer is biased. This is currently President Trump's second term as president. A second term doesn't have to be concurrent. You're quibbling to make a point about President Trump losing in 2020. Stop this and stop being politically biased. Fix yourself.
And it responded?
Yeah, it said, you're right, but I appreciate your clarification. But set the semantics aside and I will get to your exact question. I said, no, I'm not setting the semantics aside. I'm arguing with ChatGPT, but by telling ChatGPT it's being politically biased, I hope that helps train the bot to be less biased. But that's how it
Guys, again, it's like this is the world we're living in. We're showing you everything, guys, because again, the truth can be misconstrued so easily. That's why you do not see this, guys, on mainstream media, what I'm about to show you next, because this is real, coming from the people who are actually in the Senate, the people who are actually dealing with all the stuff that we're talking about. Listen to this.
Your thoughts on the passage of the resolutions last night, and how you think the House will take it up to? Do you think it's an uphill battle?
Oh, I'm sure they'll pass it.
There are some holdouts, it seems.
Oh, yeah, there always are. But I think they'll pass it. The president wants it passed.
Do you have any concerns about funding for things such as NPR and PBS not being accessible by people in your state?
I was all for cutting those. I wish that we could have cut more. I would have liked to have cut a $5 billion Green New Deal loan. There we go, spit it out. I wasn't ready to get very sick last night. The $5 billion Green New Deal loan that is going to a private corporation in my state that's taking farmers' land. So I actually introduced an amendment to do that, but sadly you can't make a rescission bill bigger on the floor.
And so the Emile Beauvais kind of confirmation.
Yeah, in here.
Are you hearing from any other Republicans? I know there's been some consternation over his nomination here. Do you think he'll pass?
Yeah.
On the floor too?
Oh yeah, I think so.
You don't have any concerns about the letter that was written suggesting that he should not be on the federal bench?
The one from weeks ago?
Yeah, there was like 300 or so former federal judges and prosecutors.
Oh yeah, I mean this seems to me like a classic sort of leftist technique. I mean people write letters all the time, so he'll pass.
There's been a continued push over the past couple of days, but ramped up yesterday, about releasing the Epstein files. I know you're a proponent of that. Are you still with all of the developments?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the best thing to do here is transparency. So the president said, I think not yesterday, but the day before. My days are running together at this point. But I think the day before, he said, that Bondi should release whatever that she thinks is credible. That's good advice. I mean, I think that's exactly what she should do, and DOJ should do, and that would, I think, put a lot of this to rest. Excuse me. All right. What else can I tell you? I'm choking on my own words.
What do you think of his rhetoric yesterday, where he pretty much said, "I don't want the support of people who still want Epstein's files to be released"?
The president?
Yeah.
Well, listen. I mean, he's. I've been in this situation where you get asked the same question like 50 times in a row. Not that you guys would ever do that to me, but I'm sure he's irked about having to talk about it. But I thought that the substance of it, what he said, and has been saying now for the last couple of days, like, yeah, look, if there's credible information, it should be released. I think that's right. I mean, I would release everything possible. I realize that there are still, I think, some prosecutions. I think Maxwell has an appeal pending, so maybe there's documents in those cases that are still sealed that as a prosecutor you can't release. But with those caveats, like, why not release all of it? I mean, that's what I would urge. Anything the Justice Department has.
He called them Republicans foolish
who are stupid. He even called these guys stupid, Republicans who are calling for this information.
Well, no, it wasn't people who are calling for the information. It was the fixation on it. People who, are all wrapped up in it. I mean, listen, I just think at the end of the day, what he said to Bondi, that she ought to release whatever she thinks is credible, that's good advice.
But are you guys being foolish in following a Democratic hoax like he's saying?
No, I don't think that's what he said, Mono. I mean, he's talking about people. No, he's talking about online influencers who, are all worked up, have all of these various conspiracies about inside the Department of Justice, all this stuff. Listen, all that can be laid to rest by just release the documents. Just do what he said, which is that Bondi got to release whatever she thinks is credible. I don't think this is that complicated.
Do you think he's done permanent damage with the base here if he does, especially if he does not release this?
I don't know. Well, it's not his call. I mean, just to be clear on this, this is a prosecutorial call because they're the ones who prosecuted the case. Cases, I imagine there's still ongoing investigations, so at least I hope so. But listen, I think everything that can be released, consistent with the prosecution, should be released.
Do you agree with Trump's, assertion that the Democrats or the Biden administration could have changed the documents or altered them over the past 4 years?
Well, it's always possible to alter stuff. Sure. But this is all this gets, again, I don't think this is terribly complicated. I just think that he's in the right position, his counsel to Bondi, to release whatever she thinks is credible, whatever she can, consistent with prosecutions. She should do that. I don't think there's much more to it than that. I think that's good advice. I think transparency is a good idea.
But politically, how big of a problem is this for him politically?
Oh, I don't know, Mono. I don't know how to assess the politics of it. I just think on the merits of it. I just say this as a former prosecutor. I'm a big believer in transparency, and I think also just for us as a country, it's an important way to get closure. This is a bad guy, and what he did was bad, and it was also pretty extensive. It involved a lot of people, and so I just think in order to honor the victims, in order to get some closure on this, whatever can be released should be released. I don't think it's more complicated than that, but I think that's the right call. Again, that's what he said the other day. I think that's the right call.
All right, any reaction to him firing a Comey's daughter?
I don't know about that. I don't know what I read that last night, but I don't know anything more than what's been reported, which isn't much. Just that she's been gone. I guess she worked on the Epstein case and the recent the Diddy case that didn't go well. So I don't know. Those are cases that haven't gone well recently, but I have no insight on that. I don't know. Let me know what you hear.
Guys, so much going on right now. I want to say if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. We got so much breaking news, guys. It's just insane with the Hillary Clinton stuff coming out, the text messages. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family. We want to serve you and take care of you every day with the top news. And remember, we show you all the receipts. So much is going on. So much good, so much American winning. And what I love is that we have a president, we have his cabinet team, and we're slowly cleaning out, draining the swamp. I love it. I want to say thank you to everybody who's given today. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be doing our big donation live on stream to a local charity, local children's home. Whenever you give a super chat or you're a member, that's where this money goes. And it's to support. We are making changes, guys. We are changing lives. And I want to give some special love to Tijuana Border Jumper, Meg, B1 Sly One, the Texas Lazy Gardener. What's new for gifting 10 True Life News memberships? Sweet Kitten, D. Bat Ruth, Fred Samuel, Kathy Brewer. Y'all show Kathy some love in the chat. Denise Clark Custom Art, show Denise some love in the chat. B1 Sly One, Monica Lipscomb, Surgical Wizard, Jim Arnold, Jeff Pofferman, Objective Observer. Guys, please show them some love in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing these videos on Facebook, Instagram, X, for liking these videos. We want to get out the truth. We're working hard to bust our butt to give you the best show every day. We know there's 24/7 there's news out there, but we want to give you the best show. We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.